What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Winston P. Strategist, and in case you haven't been here before, welcome. Let's jump right into this video, guys. Let me give you a couple reasons for you not to get a CDL. And if you've been watching my content for a long time, this is probably going to come to you as a shocker, but I do want to give you a well-rounded story because I feel that a lot of people, in the CDL world, truck driving world, just doesn't give you enough information for you to go out there and make a better business decision. So on this channel, we're going to give you all the information you need. So let's hop right into this one. So a lot of us want to get into trucking, right? And I'm pretty sure if you haven't already, this business seems like one of those, businesses that you can get into and make money overnight. And I'm not going to lie to you, part of that is absolutely true. It is that type of industry where you can come in here and make, from zero to about $40,000 a year. So in a sense, you can say you can make money overnight. So it defies a lot of the rules, of typical careers. You know what I mean? Like going to college for 4 years and graduating and making $40,000 a year. Okay, you can go to a CDL school for 3 weeks like I did, and on your fourth week you already have a check. On your third month, you could be averaging about $800 a week. That's $40,000 a year, $833 to be exact. And yes, I did use my calculator. But guys, even though that is the truth, even though you can come in this industry and make money overnight, there's some of you guys who really don't need to think about getting a CDL because it can be the worst decision you ever made. And I want to start off talking to some of those people and who I think, identify yourself if you're one of these people or not, but let's talk about that right quick. Okay, so number one, if you're a person that's not too responsible, don't take on the responsibility of driving a truck down the highway. Do not do that. I'm gonna save you right now on this video. If you're irresponsible, do not hop in a $80,000 75 miles per hour truck with that amount of responsibility on your back. And there's a few different things you need to consider. Like, for example, if you can't resist texting and driving, you do not want to think about getting into trucking, okay? Because the way trucking is right now with insurance and the FMCSA, they're trying to find so many different ways how to combat what we do on a daily basis. Like, they want cameras in our trucks. They want to limit us on how fast we can go. So I want you to think about, where is this coming from? It's all stemming from safety. And if you're into the political thing, yes, there's a lot of political influence on trucking, but they use safety as one of those driving vehicles to why they have to change all these laws and stuff. But let's just be real. At the end of the day, there is a ton of accidents on the road, and they look at truck drivers as the professional drivers, right? So if you have an accident, everybody's looking at it like, okay, were you wrong? That's the first thing that come into their minds. Were you wrong? Because everybody wants that check. So don't put yourself in that position. If you want to make CDL money, there's plenty of different options. And matter of fact, I'm going to walk over here and I'm going to show you one. So stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to show you a different option for you if, getting into trucking is just not right for you. The second person that I think trucking is not right for are those of you who are just coming in solely for the money. Okay, now while it is attractive, while the earning potential is there, okay, if you are a true businessman or a true businesswoman, okay, you're not going to look at trucking as a lucrative place or a lucrative investment that you want to make, simply because the overhead is so high and the earning potential becomes very, very low. So it takes time to make true revenue out of trucking. You got to multiply your trucking fleet. Okay, being the one man, one woman truck show doesn't work right now. So if you are looking at it like, man, I heard about how much people are making, be prepared to deal with what it takes to grow. And that means investing. That means having good credit. We don't even talk about that. A lot of people want to get into trucking and they have bad credit. And it's like, you can't grow a business. Well, you can grow a business with bad credit, but it's going to cost you extra thousands and thousands of dollars. And when you're talking about trucking, bad credit could mean you don't have fuel cards, so now you got to pay for the fuel out of pocket. You don't have a great interest rate on a truck, so now you're paying thousands of dollars more. You can't buy a truck period without using your own cash because you can't get the funding. All right, so if you're does, if you're getting rid of all of your cash, and you're coming into a business with so much high risk, you can lose your life savings. And there's a ton of people out there who lose a savings. I think I said this in my last video, okay? If you want to come in at a smaller investment level, okay? That way, if you lose it, okay, you didn't lose your house. You didn't lose your life savings, okay? You didn't lose every single thing you've worked for in the past, and now you and your wife are going through a divorce because you thought this business was going to change your life, and it ended up taking all of your money to the point where not even your wife wants to deal with you, or your husband want to deal with you. So, if you're that type of individual that is solely looking at this as just a money opportunity, be prepared that there's a lot more things you need to learn about this industry. I would challenge you to learn more about dispatching. Okay, if you want to come in this business and it's about the money, go be a dispatcher. Okay, even though being a dispatcher is challenging, and you still have to build a book of business, you still have to get drivers on your side and all that type of thing, it's better for you because you don't have to worry about that overhead. You don't have to worry about the liabilities, the investments. Like, don't think that trucking, the money that's in trucking, that you're just gonna keep it because it's there. I remember one time, I had about $60,000 in my account, and I felt so accomplished. Like, yo, look at this! Like, we're up 60K. I was so happy that month, and within like the next 2 to 3 months, we were down to like 30,000, then 20,000, then 15,000. And that's the type of business trucking is. You're up 1 minute and it's like a roller coaster, and you're down the next, because guess what the wild card is? The wild card is the truck. You cannot, predict when it's going to go down. You can't really prevent it from going down. And if you end up in a bad situation, now you got to pay thousands of dollars to get yourself out of that situation. Like, breaking down in the middle of nowhere and calling, some weird tow truck company that charges you thousands of dollars. Then you go to some weird shop in the middle of nowhere. You don't know these people, and now they're charging you an extra, couple $1,000s on top of the tow bill. And you're like, man, like, you're out of thousands. Okay, so don't just look at this as a money opportunity. Be smart. Okay, there's a ton of different businesses you can go into and apply the same principles and make a ton of money. It doesn't have to be trucking. All right, so let's go on to the third person that I think this is not for. And just as a quick recap, we talked about those of you who are not responsible, do not even hop into trucking. Those of you who are solely looking at this as a money opportunity without any other things that you're taking into consideration, don't hop into trucking. And last but not least, okay, if you're the type of person who do not have any patience in making money, and you're not able to plant a seed and wait 5 years, wait 6 years for that to grow, then you don't need to be in this type of business. Okay, because it's guys that's been here 20 years, 30 years, and they're still trying to figure things out. Okay, so at least if you're going to commit to this industry and you're not patient, at least do enough homework to where you can gain a faster traction than most people. All right, some people don't figure it out until they're 20 years into it. Like, man, like, what am I doing wrong here? Or some people feel like it takes 20 years. Okay, so you got to have a level of patience with this business. All right, it is not a game where you want to come in, you just want to hammer things down and think you're just going to get something beautiful out of it. You have to be patient in this industry. It can go up, it can go down. So when things are down, be patient. When things are up, be patient. Don't rush in. I mean, let me just give you a scenario, because I don't want to feel like I'm just saying things to you. I had a friend of mine, and he wanted to invest in the trucking industry, and of course he was just looking at the money. He was rushing, and he was all three of the things I'm telling you, that if you're that, don't hop into this industry. He was irresponsible, all of that. Okay, but because he knew that I had the ability to help him out, and I was knowledgeable in the trucking industry, he came to me like, hey man, I want to do this, that, right? So from the beginning, this guy was trying to buy like 2 and 3 trucks. He's trying to add drivers. And about, I want to say, a year into it, he ran out of capital. So everything came crashing right down on his head. And of course, no matter how much knowledge you have, okay, if you made a bad financial investment and you weren't patient, if things go south, there's no way for you to get it back. So unfortunately, I don't know if he ever ended up getting his money back, but he ended up not doing so well. I want to say financially, whatever. But the whole point of it, guys, is if you're impatient, if you're a person that's, irresponsible and all that type of thing, and you're definitely looking at this as just a money opportunity, guys, do not get a CDL. So now I want to show you what you can do. Let's go into some things that you actually can do. And I apologize if it's really windy outside, but I'm about to head out the house, and I've shown you guys this before, but right now, as you can see, like I told you, my semi truck is gone. I sold that for $8,500. I paid $5,000 for that truck, so I made $3,500 on my money. So this is what you can do. Okay, what you can do is get into something like cars. Okay, a lot of people right now are doing the whole medical courier thing, and while it's not the best money, right, if you are patient and you're able to navigate that industry real well, okay, you can turn something like that into CDL money. So when you're talking about cars, let's talk about the options that you can give yourself when you're talking about cars. Number one, okay, I paid for this little Kia. Let me fix my mic. Okay, sorry about that. For this little Kia, okay, I spent $2,300. All right, this car right here, if you go on Facebook Marketplace right now, you can find this car as high as $7,000. Okay, so I have a great profit margin. So what I'm doing currently right now, I'm partnering up with a friend of mine. He's helping me to get my own dealer's license. So now I can get into flipping cars. If I want to buy, a semi truck, I can buy one from the auctions now. If I want to do something like Uber, if I want to do something like renting cars to people who are trying to do Uber, I'm opening myself up to all of those possibilities. Okay, so I mean, just check it out. This car is like super clean. It's super clean, and it works. Like, it's only 100 and I think about 20,000 miles on this car, and this is a 2014, so it does qualify for like Uber and those type of things, right? So I just want to be real with you guys. I'd rather see you do something like this than to get a CDL and like lose everything or lose an investment. And I've seen it multiple times. All right, and I'm sorry if my camera is moving around, but I've seen it multiple times, and I don't want it to happen to you. And if somebody would have told me this early on, I would have probably still got into trucking because I'm a stubborn person. But the difference is I wasn't willing to lose everything. So I bought a $5,000 truck to get started. Well, the first truck I bought, let me just get this straight with y'all, because I've seen comments of people confused. The first truck I bought was $10,500. That was the first truck I bought when I first started my business. Okay, the second truck I bought was $6,000, and the most recent truck I bought, I only paid $5K for. So I'm only talking about my $5K truck. When I reference it, I'm not talking about the first truck I've ever owned. I'm only talking about one of the trucks. All right, so that's what I did, but I already had the knowledge of how to make a 5K truck work for me. Number one, I was running local. Number two, it was dedicated, so my money was consistent. So I didn't have to guess how much I was gonna make this week or that week. That's a big thing inside of this business. If you're OTR, you don't know what you're gonna make next week, because you may have ran and this week is just a bad week. When you're doing local, every week is the same. As long as maybe you're not in a situation where if it rains, you're out of luck. When you're running local, if you're hauling the stuff I was into, which is like heavy hauling and stuff like that, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna make the same amount of money every single week. So that's the way I did it, guys. I'm not trying to say that's the best way. A lot of people felt like that's not lucrative, but I was fine making $4,000 a week. If that's what I was grossing, and I'm taking home 32, I was good with that. Like, I felt like I could feed my family and live off of that, and I did for a long time. All right, so that's how I came into this business, guys. I don't have the story spending a $40,000 truck or going to Lone Mountain and putting down $10,000. That's not my story. I literally took out a loan that was $10,000, and I went and bought a truck from a guy, and I've been running ever since. All right, so guys, I just want to encourage you. I know you're gonna have a lot of ears and a lot of people telling you different things and giving you opinions and things like that, but just remember this: numbers do not lie. Trucking is a numbers game. If you can't afford to do it, don't do it. If you don't have the credit worthiness, don't do it. I know a lot of people are throwing around on the internet right now Oh, business credit, business credit. Well, guess what? As soon as you go to apply for a business credit card, you got to be a personal guarantor, okay? And I know people tell you about these no doc loans and all these type of things, which it sounds good and all that. Unless you have that set up right in front of you, 9 times out of 10, you apply for a credit card, you got to be the personal guarantor, okay? And if you got to use credit to survive in this business and you don't have, the income coming in, it's still a bad deal. Because just because you have the credit, where's the revenue to pay back the loan? And banks do not like to lend to trucking businesses because they know it's so volatile and a lot of people try it and fail. So the banks have the data, guys. So you gotta, use data and use numbers and make a wise business decision. Hopefully this video wasn't me being too long-winded. Hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of this, guys. And please comment, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. I gave you 3 reasons why trucking would be a bad idea. I'm still in trucking, right? But I'm currently not driving. I have my own authority, and I have a trucking company that is under my authority, okay? I'm going to tell you more about that on the next video. But I'm not trying to keep you guys out of trucking. I'm just trying to help you to make a better business decision. So in case you thought you had to get a CDL, you don't, okay? You can refer to my other video where I told you guys about the Amazon AFP program, where I interviewed Sean, that doesn't have a CDL, and he does $3.5 million a year. And a matter of fact, I'll tag that video so you guys can go back and watch it. And if you haven't, now you get a chance to see it, okay? So I'm not trying to keep you guys out of, having an opportunity. I'm literally just trying to help you, because had I had somebody to tell me what I'm telling you right now and give me different options, different perspectives, I would have probably saved money or made a better business decision. Like, for example, I didn't know you could buy a trucking authority, okay? I thought you had to create one from scratch. Maybe I would have did better just buying into a trucking business rather than starting my own from scratch. I don't know. So, those are some of the things that we're going to talk more and more about. If you have any questions for me, just comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a comment, like, or a follow, and I'll see you in the next one.